In this video, I'm going to show you how I created a book printing website using WordPress and WooCommerce. Before I dive in, it should be noted that this video is a premium tutorial, which I want to use to get clients for my web design agency. So now let me take you to my computer and show you how I created my book printing website. So to create a book printing website or any kind of website, the first thing you need to get is your domain name and web hosting. To get your domain name and web hosting, you can come over to dikupages.com/hostinger. Hit enter. This is an affiliate link. I'll get a commission when you use my link. Hostinger will give you 75% of your web hosting. Additionally, you can also use Swadiku as your coupon code in order to get additional 10% discount. However, if you already have a domain and web hosting, you can go ahead and skip this step. Next thing you want to do is have your book printing website created. Like I have right here, I've already created my website. The next thing I want to do is add a product which users can use in order to make their orders. That is, if they want me to have their books printed for them. But before we get started adding our product, first of all, let me show you what you will get by the end of this tutorial. So if users land on the home page of my website, then they go ahead and click on print your book. It will bring them to this beautifully designed product page, as you can see right here. Now let's see how it works. So if I land here as a customer, what I do is choose the details or parameters I want. For instance, now if I scroll down to the product's total price, you see that it is set to $45, and that is the exact price we have on top here. That's the initial price. Now if I decide that I need an ISBN to be attached to my book, that is the International Standard Book Number, I select this, yes, assign a unique ISBN. Going down, you see the cost for ISBN under options total, and I set mine to be $150, so it will be added to the initial price of $45, and this is the grand total. Now let's scroll up. With paper size, I don't have price attached to it, so users can easily choose any of the paper sizes they want. It doesn't really change anything. So if I scroll down, you don't see any change with regards to price. Now let's choose the first book cover, that is cover type, and I've selected paperback. It's not going to change anything. Going up, now if I select hardcover, then I scroll down, you see that the price has changed by $2.25. Now if I choose premium, you see the price has changed. So whatever amount I'll be paying will depend upon the parameters I'll be selecting. So let's assume I want the first one, which doesn't cost anything. Next, I have the paper type. Here we have different paper types. The default one is 80 GSM and quoted. Let's assume that's what I want. It doesn't really add any amount to my total, but if I select 100 GSM and quoted, let's go down and check our price. You see that there's an increment. So if I select, for instance, 115 GSM silk finish and go down, you see a different price. Let's assume this is what I want. Next, we have paper binding type. Any of these paper binding types will not add anything to my total price. As you can see, we still have the $160 as the options. But take note, you can put prices on any of your paper binding types. So let's assume this is what I want. Next, we have number of pages, and right here I have 50. That is the default number of pages. So any customer that is coming to print their book with me, the minimum number of pages they will get is the 50. Take note, here you can set it to whatever number of pages you want. You can even make your minimum to be 5 pages. Your choice. So now if I scroll down, you see that I have 160 as the options total. Now I want to increase the number of pages from 50 to 51. So I'll just click on the up arrow key. Going down, you see there's a difference. So whatever amount I get will depend upon the number of pages. Let's say I need 60. Going down, you see the total. Next is book quantity. And you see that I have 10 books here. It means that that is the minimum number of books a customer can print at a time. If they want me to print like 9 copies, I won't accept the order because I only take 10 books as my minimum order. So take note, the quantity here is part of the initial cost, which is $45. Now, if users try to select maybe 50 books, going down, you see the price has increased. Now let's see 100 books, the price has changed. 200 books, the price has changed. So for this demonstration, I'm going to limit it to 50 books. And here you see that I've displayed some percentages. So choosing any of these book quantities will give you any of these discounts I have right here. And finally, we have the book upload field. This is where the customer can upload their book draft or the final product. So let me just go ahead and click on it to browse to get my book. I have my sample book here. I'll just select it. Then I click on open. It should be noted that you can specify the file types you want. For this demonstration, I've used doc, docx, and then PDF. So any file type I try to upload which doesn't fall here will not be accepted. All is set and my grand total is $463.50 based on the parameters I've selected here. I'll go ahead and add it to the cart. I view the cart, and from here you see all what I've selected. I proceed to checkout. I've already filled in my billing details. I will go ahead and click on place order. Thank you, your order has been received. So as a customer, I will receive a message with regards to the order, and then administrator of the website will also receive a message with regards to the order. I can also go to the back end of my website to check the order as an administrator. From here, I come over to WooCommerce, then I click on orders. And that is the current order I have on top here, which is set to processing. I'll just go ahead and click on the name of the customer. From here, I'll see all what the customer has selected. And down here under book upload, you can see that I have a link to the file that was being uploaded. If I click on it, you see a download. Perfect. Now it's time to add the printing feature onto our website so that users will be able to upload their designs so that we can go ahead and print it for them. To do that, we are going to use WooCommerce. And apart from WooCommerce, we'll be using additional WooCommerce add-on that will give us more functionalities onto the WooCommerce plugin. To do that, we go to the back end of our website. Then we go ahead and click on plugins, add new plugin. Under search plugins, we search for WooCommerce. And right here, I have WooCommerce. I click on install now. It is installed. I go ahead and activate. Now WooCommerce is installed and activated successfully. If I click on refresh now, it will take me to the WooCommerce setup wizard. I'm not going to do it, so I go ahead and click on skip setup guide. After exiting the setup, it will bring you to your WordPress dashboard. And now you see that we have WooCommerce as well as products. Next, let's go ahead and install the plugin that will add additional functionalities to our WooCommerce plugin. To do that, I open a new tab, then I search for dikupages.com/add-ons. Then I go ahead and click on enter, and it will take me to Studio Wombat. Next, I go ahead and click on plugins. And right here, I have advanced product fields for WooCommerce. I select it. Next, I click on view pricing, and it will take me to the pricing section. Right here, they have 3 packages. You can choose from Pro, Extended, and then Extended Bundle. And should be noted that these prices you are seeing is set to yearly. So if you use any of these packages, you need to renew your subscription every year. If you want to receive future updates, you can go ahead and toggle on lifetime. And you see that the prices have increased. However, you get additional features. With the yearly, you only get 1 year of updates and support. However, when you select lifetime, you get lifetime update and support. You also get email support. And what you get in the extended will include all the pro features as well as priority support, extra date features, and then advanced formula functions. And finally, we have the extended bundle where you can get additional 6 add-ons. And these 6 add-ons may come in handy when you want to extend the functionality of the plugin. If you are going to buy all these plugins separately, that is these 6 add-ons, let me open them in a new tab. They will all cost you money. So you can just go ahead and get the bundle, which is not really necessary. You can just start with the Pro or the Extended. But for this particular website, you will need the Extended bundle. That is where you can add advanced formula functions. So when you are set, you just go ahead and click on buy plugin. Then it will take you to where you can check out. I already have the plugin, so I'll just go ahead and log in and get back to you. So I've logged in. The next thing I do is go over to plugin downloads. I have the plugin right here. I'll just click on the download button and it is downloading right here. Going back, I go over to license keys. I have my license key here. I will hide it for obvious reasons. So I'll just go ahead and copy it. Now going back to my website, I go over to plugins, click on add new. Next, I click on upload plugin. I can just click here, I drag and drop. Then I go ahead and click on install now. The plugin is installed. I click on activate. The plugin is installed successfully. Now they are saying activate licenses, so I just go ahead and click on it. Take note, you can also get to this page by hovering on WooCommerce. Then you go ahead and click on settings. From here you choose product fields. So this is where I enter my license key. I just right click, click on paste. Then I go ahead and click on activate. Now the license is activated and you now see all these features I have right here. So if your plugin is not activated, you will not be able to see these features. Now that we have installed our plugins, the next thing we want to do is add a product. So I go ahead and hover on products, click on add new. I can exit from here for now. Under product name, I enter bulk book printing. You can give it a description if you want, which is not really necessary. You can also add the product short description. I'll just leave them as empty. Next, under price, I'm going to go ahead and enter 45. It should be noted that you can enter whatever price you want. I go over to inventory and I'm going to go ahead and limit purchases to 1 item per order. Going up, I'm going to go ahead and set a category. So I click on add new category. I can just call it book printing. I click on add new category. It's added and also selected. Going down, I go ahead and set a product image. This is the image I want to use. I select it, then I click on set product image. You can also go ahead and add product gallery if you want. All is set. I click on publish. Now my product is published. I can right click on view product, open link in a new tab. Let's see how it looks. So this is how it will look like. At the moment it's kind of plain. So let's see how we can add our advanced fields to our product. Going back, now if I scroll down right here, you see that I have custom fields. We are seeing this feature as a result of the advanced custom fields plugin we have installed. So I click on it and right here I'm going to go ahead and add my first field. So I click on add your first fields. The first field we have is type. I drop down the arrow and right here we have a bunch of fields. For this, we are going to use true or false, and the label, I'll enter ISBN allocation. And the reason why we are entering ISBN allocation is that we want our customers to be able to allow us to assign ISBN to their books. ISBN is International Standard Book Number. So if you are going to be publishing textbooks, you need International Standard Book Numbers for your books. You can enter some instructions if you want. You can also mark the field as required. However, it should be noted that it's not all authors who want ISBN, so I'll leave it as not required. Next, I'll enter my message. It should be noted that the true or false is going to be a checkbox, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the message that will be displayed alongside with my checkbox. And this is the text I'm going to enter. Yes, assign a unique ISBN. The default value is going to be unchecked. If you want, you can check it so that it will be automatically checked anytime the product page is opened. But we don't want this, so I make it unchecked. Label for true and false are okay. We don't do anything here. Next is adjust pricing. I enable this and I'm going to go ahead and charge a flat fee of $150 or whichever currency you are using. So if my customers want me to assign ISBN, the cost is going to be $150. Oops, I think I've made an error here. And we are done with our first field. Now if I go ahead and update, then we go over to the product page and refresh, you see our first field. Awesome. So if I select it as a customer, you see that under total options, we have the $150 and it will be added to our initial price of $45. Going back, then I scroll down, custom fields. Let's add a new field. This field we are going to add is going to be a multiple choice. So under choice, I have select list. I enter paper type. You can add instructions if you want. This field is going to be required so that users will be mandated to choose from the list. Next, under options, I click add option, and the first one is going to be the type of papers I'll be printing for my customers. The first one I have is A4, and I'm not going to charge any fee. If you want to charge a fee, you can drop down and choose whichever one you want. So I'll show you how we can use some of these formulas, but for now we are not going to charge a fee for this. We'll be using a formula to calculate how fees can be charged for a feature like this. Next, I click add option, then I enter A5. A5 is half of A4, and that one too, I'm not going to charge any fee. It should be noted that you can add as many paper sizes as you want. For this demonstration, I'll use only these two paper types. All is set here. I can just go ahead and update. Let's see how it will come up in the front end. So I refresh, and you see we have our paper type where users can choose either A4 or A5. Going back, then we scroll down, custom fields. Let's add our new field. So I click on add new field. The type, this time around we are going to use image swatches. This image swatches will give us the ability to be able to add images so that our users can choose whichever image they want. The label is going to be cover type. Going down is going to be mandatory. Under options, you see that we can choose an image here. So I click on select. This is the one I'm going to use. Then I click on use this image. The label, I go ahead and enter in paperback, and there's no going to be price for it. All this will use a formula to calculate them. I'll add another option, select, and this is the one I want to use. Then I click on use this image, and the label is going to be hardcover. I add another option, select. I select this one, use this image, and it's going to be premium cover. I can just say premium, and take note I'm not going to place prices on any of them. Going down, the label position, you can choose whichever one you want. So it can be below image. You can also hide the label, or you can use it as tooltip. I'll leave it as below image so that users will be able to see the labels alongside the images. You can also decide to show large images, and I'm not going to use this. Going down, we have items per row. So on desktop, we are going to be displaying 3 items. On tablet, we'll display 3. On mobile, we'll display 3. Let's go ahead and update. Now let's take a look in the front end, and this is how it will come up. Perfect. Now let's go back. Going down, custom fields, under cover type, going down, let's see how we can change these options. So on desktop, if I say I want to show 4 images, so instead of me having 3 here, I'll now have 4. So let's see how it will come out, even though we don't have up to 4 images, but we should be able to see a space that indicates that we can actually have 4 images here. Maybe on mobile, we can use 2 so that one will drop. So let's go ahead and save it and see how it will look. Going to the front end, I refresh, and this is how it will look. And you see we have a space here. So if we were having 4 images, the 4th one would have appeared here. Let me switch it to mobile view. Going down, so you see that on mobile we'll have it in 2 columns. I'll go back, and I'm going to go ahead and change it to the 3 columns. So here will be 3, and here will be 3. Then I'll go ahead and update. Going back, we refresh. Perfect. So far we've got ISBN, paper type, and then cover type. Okay, actually here is supposed to be paper size and not paper type. So let's go ahead and correct it. So I go back in here, going down, custom fields, I just select it, then I change the name, paper size. So the next field we are adding is paper type. I click on add a field, and the type is going to be select list. The field label will be paper type. Going down, I'm not going to mark it as required simply because I'm going to mark one of the options as default. So by default, users will have to select an option. So I click on add option, and the label is going to be 80 GSM. It's going to be uncoated. So this is a type of paper. The first one will be selected as the default one. I add another option, and this one is going to be 100 GSM uncoated. I add another option, and this is going to be 115 GSM, which is going to be silk finish. I add the last one, which is also going to be 115 GSM, and this one will be gloss finish. And now we are done with the field. I collapse it. The next field I'm going to add is paper binding type. It should be noted that we have different binding types your users can choose from. So let's go ahead and add a new field, and I want users to be able to select from an image. So I'm going to make it image swatches. The field label is going to be paper binding type. Going down, I add my first option. I have an image to be selected, so I just click on select. This is the one I'm going to pick first. Then I click on use this image. The label is going to be saddle binding. If you are into the book printing industry, you'll be familiar with all these names. Next, I add another option, and this is the one I'm going to use. I select it, then I click on use this image. The label is going to be case binding. I add another option, select image. I select this one, then I click on use this image, and this is going to be wide binding. I add the last one, select. Alright, this is the one I'm going to use. That's the last one. Use this image, and the label is going to be Canadian wide. All is set. I collapse it, then I add another field. I'm going to add number of pages field. So the type is going to be number. Then the label, I enter number of pages. Going down, number type is going to be an integer. Next, I'm going to go ahead and give it a minimum and maximum values. Minimum will be the number of pages users must print. For this demonstration, I'm going to use 50, and the maximum will be 1500. So users cannot print below 50 pages. I'm also going to go ahead and enter a default value, which is going to be the minimum value right here. So in this case, it's going to be 50. So if users try to make an order, by default, they will see this quantity 50 under the number of pages field. Maybe I can also add some instruction right here. So I'll ask how many pages does your book count. All is set. I collapse this, and I'm going to go ahead and add the final field, which is going to be book quantity. So I click on add a field, and the type is going to be a list. Label, I enter book quantity. So this will be the number of books users can order. Apart from the number of pages a book can contain, users can also choose from a particular quantity they want to print. I can mark the field as required. Even though this is optional, you can choose not to do it. Next, I go ahead and add my options. So I click on add option, and the first one is going to be 10 books. In the price type, I'm going to go ahead and use formula based pricing. In the meantime, let's just leave the default value, which is set as 0. Next, I add another option, and this time around I'll add 50 books. It's also going to be a formula based pricing. So now let me pause the video and add the rest of the book quantities and get back to you. So now I've added all the various book quantities I want. And what this means is that after 10 books, users will have the option to choose from 50 books, 100 books, 200 books, and then 500 books. It should be noted that you can add as many options as you want. The next thing I do is select the first one, that is 10 books, as my default. Now let's go ahead and update, and let's take a look. I refresh the page. So we have our ISBN, paper size, cover type. Awesome. We also have our paper type, the binding type, the number of pages, and then book quantity. Now I have number of pages here. If I click in here and I press the down arrow key, the number will not reduce. But if I press the up arrow key, the number will be increasing in that order. Now the paper binding type, I want everything to be in one line. So for desktop, I'm going to choose 4 columns. So going back, scrolling down to custom fields, paper binding type, you see that desktop is set to 3. So I'm going to go ahead and choose 4 columns. Or maybe I can do the same thing for the rest of the devices. I update and let's take a look. I think this is looking clean. Awesome. Now I also want to add some percentage options under the book quantity to tell my customers that this is the particular percentage they can get when they choose any of these book quantities. And I'm going to go ahead and start from 50 since 10 books is the default. So what this means is that if users start from the top, paper size is mandatory. Maybe they have selected paperback. They have also selected 80 GMS and quoted as the paper type and choose any of the paper binding type. If they leave the number of pages as 50 and then book quantity as 10 books, this is the total amount they are going to pay. That's what all this means. So if they are going to be increasing from 10 books to 50 books, they should be getting a discount. And that is what I want to display right here. Take note, it's not going to be a formula. It's just going to be a visible text I will enter so that users will know the kind of percentage they are getting. So I go back, going down, custom fields. Take note, it's also going to be a field. Then the type, I'm going to select HTML, text and HTML. The label, I take it off. It's not going to have any label. Going down, this is where I enter my content. I already have what I want to enter here copied to clipboard. I'll just go ahead and paste it in. Let me open this up. This is how it will look like. Now if I go and update, then I go to the front end and refresh the page, this is how it will look like. But we don't want it this way. It's looking kind of messy. I want to have bulk discount as the heading. Then every single percentage feature right here will take its own line. For instance, I have buy 50 books, get 5% off. The next one is buy 100 books, get 10% off. So let's see how we can make this in a bullet form. Going back, I scroll down, custom fields, and the last one is the one without label. Scrolling down, let's open this a bit. Even though here everything is taking its own line, but we don't see that in the front end. So it's time to implement some HTML tags. The title, I want to make it bold. So what I can do is add the bold tag. In this case, I'm going to use strong. So I open up the less than sign, then I enter strong, then I close it with the greater than sign. Then I'm going to go ahead and close the strong tag from here. So less than sign, then I bring / strong, then close it with greater than sign. So if we go to the front end of our website, this text here, bulk discounts, will now be bolded. Next, let's go ahead and make the rest of the text here bullet list. To do that, first of all, I have to introduce the bullet tag. So I say less than sign, then I enter UL, close it with greater than sign, hit enter so that it will start a new line. So this tag we are seeing here stands for bullets. What I can do is close the bullet list down here. So I click in here, hit enter, less than sign, /UL, then I close it with greater than sign. So this will tell my web page that I want all of this to be in bullet list. However, we need to actually specify the kind of bullet we want. We have ordered list and then an ordered list. Ordered list is where we have 1, 2, 3 up to whatever number, and then an ordered list is where we have the actual bullets. So on the first line, I'll open less than sign, then I enter LI, then close it with the greater than sign. So this stands for list, that is LI. I come in here, less than sign, /LI, then I close it with greater than sign. Similarly, I'll do the same thing for the rest of the 3 items. So I'll just copy this one, then come here, paste, then paste. I copy the closing one, click in here, paste, and paste. Now let's go ahead and update. Let's take a look, refresh, and this is how it will look like. Perfect. And now we are done with all the fields we want to add for our book printing. One thing we can do is that we can add a bit of CSS to make the headings here bold. It will make our work clean. So what we do is click on customize. We are going to go inside the theme customizer to add our CSS code. From here, I scroll down to additional CSS, just click on it, and this is where we add our CSS code. Now before I paste in the code, take a look at the headings. They are not bolded. The moment I paste, you see that they are now bolded. Perfect. So I click on publish, and I go ahead and exit from here. Awesome. Now it is looking clean. Perfect. Now let's add another important feature. That is a field where customers can upload their books. So we are going to go ahead and add a book upload field so that users can upload their drafts or maybe the final product. To do that, I go back to the product editing page, going down, I click on custom fields, then I go ahead and add a new field. And this one, the type is going to be a file upload. So under advanced, I have file upload. In the label, I can call it book upload. Going down is going to be a required field. You can also decide to allow multiple files here. I'm not going to do that. One most important thing you may want to consider is accepted file types. This is where you need to select the particular file types you want your users to submit. So if I need a Word document, I need to choose docx. Maybe I want PDF. I can search for it, PDF. I select it. So whichever file type you want, you need to specify them here. However, if you want to make it open, you can just go ahead and exit them so that any file type can be accepted. But in my opinion, restricting it will be professional so that people won't spam you with unnecessary files. So I'll bring them back. Next is maximum file size. For this demonstration, I can just enter 1000 megabytes. You choose the maximum file size you want, and this is not going to attract any pricing. All is set here. I go ahead and update. Now let's take a look. I refresh, and I have my book upload field right here. With this, users can easily browse to get their files. Maybe I can also add a description, tell my users the allow file types. So I go back, scrolling down, custom fields. I scroll to the end, I expand book upload. Under instruction, I enter allowed file types, colon, and I enter doc, that's docx, comma, and then PDF. Going up, I update. Now let's take a look. I refresh, and we have our instruction right there. And now we are done creating our book printing product. One last thing you may want to consider doing is make your product visible on your website. At the moment, it's just a page which is not accessible when users get to my website. From here, I can just copy the link of the product. Then I go over to the home page. That is where I want to display it. From here, I go ahead and click on Edit with Elementor. Take note, I've used Elementor to build my website. Whichever page builder you'll be using, you go ahead and add your product link accordingly. Inside my Elementor editor, I just go ahead and click on my button here, that is print your book, which users can easily click to go to the book printing page. From here, I paste in the link I copied. Going down, I have another button here, print your book. I paste in my link. Scrolling down, the next one, I paste in my link. And finally, the last one, select it. Then I go ahead and paste in my link. I click on update. It is updated. Let's take a look. Now from here, users can easily click on this button right here to take them to their book printing page. Let's see how it will come up. Perfect. And this is cool. I can exit from here and here for now. Now let's test our product out. Let's see how users can easily use it. So if I land here as a customer, what I do is choose the details or parameters I want. For instance, now if I scroll down to the product total price, you see that it is set to $45, and that is the exact price we have on top here. That's the initial price. Now if I decide that I need an ISBN to be attached to my book, that is the International Standard Book Number, I select this, yes, assign a unique ISBN. Going down, you see the cost for ISBN and the options total, and I set mine to be $150, so it will be added to the initial price of $45, and this is the grand total. Now let's scroll up. With paper size, I don't have price attached to it, so users can easily choose any of the paper sizes they want. It doesn't really change anything. So if I scroll down, you don't see any change with regards to price. Now let's choose the first book cover, that is cover type, and I've selected paperback. It's not going to change anything. Going up, now if I select hardcover, then I scroll down, you see that the price has changed by $2.25. Now if I choose premium, you see the price has changed. So whatever amount I'll be paying will depend upon the parameters I'll be selecting. So let's assume I want the first one, which doesn't cost anything. Next, I have the paper type. Here we have different paper types. The default one is 80 GSM and quoted. Let's assume that's what I want. It doesn't really add any amount to my total, but if I select 100 GSM and quoted, let's go down and check our price. You see that there's an increment. So if I select, for instance, 115 GSM silk finish and go down, you see a different price. Let's assume this is what I want. Next, we have paper binding type. Any of these paper binding types will not add anything to my total price. As you can see, we still have the $160 as the options. But take note, you can put prices on any of your paper binding types. So let's assume this is what I want. Next, we have number of pages, and right here I have 50. That is the default number of pages. So any customer that is coming to print their book with me, the minimum number of pages they will get is the 50. Take note, here you can set it to whatever number of pages you want. You can even make your minimum to be 5 pages, your choice. So now if I scroll down, you see that I have 160 as the options total. Now I want to increase the number of pages from 50 to 51, so I'll just click on the up arrow key. Going down, you see there's a difference. So whatever amount I get will depend upon the number of pages. Let's say I need 60. Going down, you see the total. Next is book quantity, and you see that I have 10 books here. It means that that is the minimum number of books a customer can print at a time. If they want me to print like 9 copies, I won't accept the order, because I only take 10 books as my minimum order. So take note, the quantity here is part of the initial cost, which is $45. Now if users try to select maybe 50 books, going down, you see the price has increased. Now let's see 100 books, the price has changed. 200 books, the price has changed. So for this demonstration, I'm going to limit it to 50 books. And here you see that I've displayed some percentages. So choosing any of these book quantities will give you any of these discounts I have right here. And finally, we have the book upload field. This is where the customer can upload their book drafts or the final product. So let me just go ahead and click on it to browse to get my book. I have my sample book here. I'll just select it. Then I click on open. It should be noted that you can specify the file types you want. For this demonstration, I've used doc, docx, and then PDF. So any file type I try to upload which doesn't fall here will not be accepted. All is set, and my grand total is $463.50 based on the parameters I've selected here. I'll go ahead and add it to the cart. I view the cart, and from here you see all what I've selected. I proceed to check out. I've already filled in my billing details. I will go ahead and click on place order. Thank you, your order has been received. So as a customer, I will receive a message with regards to the order, and then administrator of the website will also receive a message with regards to the order. I can also go to the back end of my website to check the order as an administrator. From here, I come over to WooCommerce, then I click on orders. And that is the current order I have on top here, which is set to processing. I'll just go ahead and click on the name of the customer. From here, I'll see all what the customer has selected. And down here under book upload, you can see that I have a link to the file that was being uploaded. If I click on it, you see a download. Perfect. So that's how I created my book printing website using WooCommerce. Now, if you need help creating your very own book printing website, go to dikupagesweb.com and get in touch with me so that I can help you out. You'll find links to it in the description down below. In the meantime, do stick around to watch another video YouTube thinks you should watch next. Keep watching and we will talk soon.